for me, your perception of the stadium can depend a lot on the game you're playing. Like you can play in the biggest stadium in the world. If there's no one there, if the game doesn't really mean anything to you, you don't associate maybe the stadium with being that impressive or memorable. So I always look at my professional debut as away at Munster for Sale Sharks at Thomond Park, and like as a stadium, it's quite impressive. But there's plenty of bigger stadiums out there. There's plenty of more impressive ones. But that's for me. Whenever I see that on TV, I thought, oh God, that place is unreal. Just because of memories associated with it.
Yeah. But I guess you're so present when you're playing as well. You can't just sit back and go, wow, look at this, listen to the crowd.
No, I think subconsciously you take in more than you think. So it's maybe not until after you're driving away from the game you start to think, actually, I took in a lot there. That was quite a cool moment for me.
Like that.
Yeah.
Probably say you get more time as a coach to reflect on stuff like that. And sitting on a bench a lot in my pro career, you sit there, you watch teams run out, and you go, frickin', that's pretty good. Like similar to George, like the Irish teams do it well, mainly because of the atmosphere. Like I enjoy going to Ulster every year, running out to that. It's just constantly, and it's bouncing. They get the lights going. It's a sellout every game. They play on Friday nights usually, and they've got their way of doing it, and you can't help but be inspired going there thinking, oh, go to a place. And I sat on the bench regularly in Ulster and thought, oh, I can't wait to get on.
Yeah, I bet. How about you guys? What are your experiences?
Again, I've forgotten we'd gone to Belfast to watch Ulster, but that stadium, it was at Kingsholm.
Yeah, it was amazing, wasn't it?
I was absolutely amazed. But for me, it's got to be the Principality. When we played there last year against the Ospreys, when they had the European Championships, wheelchair rugby there. And like George is saying, you don't really, because once you're on there, you're focused on the game. And if someone said to me, what was it like on our side, I don't really know. I mean, I know I was in there, I was down there on the pitch, but as far as I was concerned, all I wanted to do was beat the Ospreys.
Yeah.
When we went to Ireland, I walked in, I thought, this is amazing, and it gives you chills. And like every stadium I've been to is very different. You know, it's like different vibes.
Yeah.
But absolutely brilliant, and I love it here because I used to have a season ticket in 2006.
Really?
And I was only little, then I stopped coming for a couple of years, and now I'm back here.
And you can't get away from it now.
No, I love it.
As Manchester tried to get him from you.
Cameron and Steve tried to get rid of me for months. Yeah. They call me Boomerang Steed because I bounce back.
I guess, I mean, that's the general question I can ask now is what does rugby mean to you? Because, crikey, that's a huge question, I know, and there'll be different aspects, but Kat, just kind of watching and listening to you then when everyone's talking about the environment, the atmosphere, yeah. Everyone has that connection, don't they? Whatever it is, we talked about this a lot, but I find it fascinating. What does rugby in kind of this place mean to you?
It's a family. Everything we do within the community and all our inclusion teams is bringing everyone together, and not just on the field, off the field as well. So game days are pretty special. You know, everybody comes and supports the guys, and for me, I'm a long-term Dragons supporter anyway. So this place is pretty special to me. I still get chills now just before kick-off. You know, it's amazing. But yeah, the inclusion teams that play under the Dragons banner, the badge means to them just as much as professional, as well as they're proud to play for the region, and it's that what brings that together. That's for me, that's what I'm passionate about, and that's what I love about what we do.
Yeah, that feels really clear from the outside. Yeah. And Steve, what about you, Steve? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. And
you're part of it.
And the one thing that I do love about it is when the kids go along, like they're 3, 4, 5 years old, and they're just starting to get their little personalities. And John was like you were saying with Orson, 6 months ago he come there and he just stand by his dad and he wouldn't say anything, but now he's off with everybody.
Loves it.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
like it. We know this boy, and he goes to wheelchair.
Yeah.
And his name's George, and he's a trickiest little boy you've ever met. Like, he says to me, Morgan, you're scaring me. I go, why, George? You got big eyebrows. Do you wear mascara? And I go, no. And he goes, you're Mr. Bean. And little words are so honest.
Yeah, I think he's 5.
He's 5, yeah.
George.
Like, he just does he can't. He just says it what he
He's
thinks.
honest speaking.
Do you do that?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
That's why I've had more black eyes and Frank Bruno. Stick and move.
That's something I've noticed. Yeah, I've come from the outside, like, and I follow obviously region rugby. I more the round-shaped ball than anything else, but it seems like it's a club. It is one club, the old classic. So everything you talked about there, Captain inclusion to the first team, and everything you're trying to do, Di, as head coach as well. It is a sense of togetherness. Do you feel that, and is that something that rings with you?
I feel it definitely. This is my second season, and it's my third club now. So I started at Sale Sharks, went to London Irish, and both great clubs, but they're run so differently from that aspect. They both have their sort of community teams, but they're almost, I don't want to sound disrespectful, but they feel a bit like a tick box. And them clubs, like it's, they do their outreach, but it's to people who aren't really connected to the club. There's not really that emotional connection there. Whereas you look at Dragons and the work that Dragons have done in the community, it's crazy. The outreach Karen and the team have had with people like Morgan, people who wouldn't have been touched just normally if it was a club on its own. I think a lot of the region wouldn't have anything to do with the club, would they? But I think you see how many people from the provisions turn up to games. The outreach is incredible.
Yeah.
Which you never got that. Over the last two clubs I was at, you'd never see the people from the community programmes at the games and have that connection there. I'd go and help out with a few things, and you never really see the same person twice. It was all different school each week, different team each week, which was great with doing the outreach, but there seems to be much more of a connection here between the club and the community.
That's interesting. You know, before we kind of sat down, we're all taking a mick on which valley's the best and what do we do? But that's what it is, and that's how we connect, isn't it? We're all very passionate about our own little area, but then when it comes to something slightly bigger, or Gwent, and it's all Dragons rugby, that's probably quite similar to you, Di, would you think?
Yeah, I think just go back to the change in badge and the change in brand. Like Dragons Rugby Football Club, we're a club that represents our region, but our region is full of 74 rugby clubs, and everyone's got that affiliation to a rugby club, and this rugby club, we need to do it exceptionally well, and we can see the work Karen's doing that does it well, that all others can follow, and we're proud to represent our region and represent our club and the people who follow our club. And you see 1,000 kids here every game. What I've probably seen more at this club is our players want to do more. So there's never you don't have to ask a player twice to go out their way to help. They want to be put into situations where they can help, and that's because they love representing first and foremost. If you're from Caerleon, that's your club, but then secondly your regions, your Dragons, and any opportunity. George is a Dragons Rugby Football Club player, and you can see he wants to represent us, and he set the standard, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely, most definitely. He's been an amazing ambassador for the community and inclusion since he's been here.
That's a favour from you now, Chris.
I was going to end up with what we started with.
And you know what I like the way you include people in what you do. You know, like, you're a player, but you're also a gentleman, and you like to get the best out of people. And you're a legend because you're a gentleman too.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's it's like you've seen my notes. I love that. That's perfect. That is, more because there's a couple of trickier ones now. Then we'll give out the fun stuff.
Well, I'm just like that. There is one of the gentlemen at the table.
Oh, you're a legend too.
Thanks, Mark.
Anyway,
It's on that as well. I think the Dragons as a club is a real common denominator between anyone you Karen and team reach out to, regardless of the difficulties like age, gender, whatever. It's the club becomes a talking point for everyone and brings everyone together. I know it sounds really cliche, it brings everyone together, but that's just an example of how rugby and a club can be used to involve everyone. I think rugby is probably the most inclusive sport out there.
Isn't it amazing? And it's about representation, isn't it? And that's why this group around the table, that's what it is. And I don't think you get that in many other places, football, rugby, or whatever. Just why it's so important.
Oh, I'm interested. I just wanted to pick up on something. I don't know how everyone's going to react, because one of the trickier things, and something I've been trying to work on, is taking compliments.
Oh,
It's hard, isn't it?
terrible. I can't.
It's something. We did this earlier at the golf club, and I mentioned it to someone, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I'll have a joke." Oh. And I was always criticised, going, like, someone's trying to be nice to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one of the girls used to work for me. She was amazing. She said, "Stop being a dick. Just smile, say thank you, and move on."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, I can't do it," but we're not inbuilt into it. Like, how does it feel? Someone like Morgan, who's in it and is being nice and paying compliments.
See, with me, it's all about being nice. And then the more nice you are, you get something out of it. I mean, just being nice is being nice.
You're not after something as a result.
No.
You're just being nice.
Yeah. Like I say, Cameron's a legend, and that's just being nice.
Yeah.
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 I remember reading somewhere years and years ago, you read all these self-help things, and there was one that said, how to become a successful and well-liked person. And one of them was, it said, if someone gives you a compliment, just accept it. Don't be embarrassed that somebody finds you good or something. Just say, well, cheers, thanks.
And I think that's it, isn't it? You're very people-centred. The work you're doing with the inclusion team and everything, clearly you're very person-centred as well. We've known each other a long time now, 20 minutes from now. And I think that's it, isn't it? Because I've used your saying now loads of times. I think you might be on one of these t-shirts soon, if you're not careful. Better people, better players. And it's as simple as that. Just tell us a bit more about that,
Firstly, I'm still shocked with the compliment. Working in Welsh rugby, they're just not used to getting them, but especially publicly. But you just want good people wherever you work with, and people who can have honest conversations with each other at any level. So whether that's professionally, personally, anywhere in between, just have that open door, honest conversation. And the more people that you get in your building of them, and in your team, whether that's the Dragons team here at Rodney Parade, the team at Astramanach, they're just the freer everyone feels, and the more they can be themselves. And I think...
And that's what you want,
Exactly, Morgan. I think that's what we've got running through our veins in this region.
Yeah.
And I go back to, you can go anywhere in this facility on a match day, and you'll have that conversation with people who, it's amazing how many smiles you see on a match day.
Yeah. It's good.
It is as simple as that, isn't it? Steve, tell us about your journey. How did you get here? Really simple question.
I was diagnosed with a condition called cerebellar atrophy, which means part of my brain is shrinking, which controls my balance, coordination and speech. And I used to do a cycling, and there's a group in Newport called Morello's Marvels, and they're a group of cyclists, and they've all got movement disorders, Parkinson's, brain injuries, spinal injuries. And when I was doing a cycle ride for St. David's Hospice, I met a lady riding the same recumbent trike as myself, and she said, you ought to come down and have a word with the Morellos. So I said, all right, fair enough, I will. So I did a few rides with them, and they were having a triathlon. And at that triathlon, there was a guy in a wheelchair, and I said, what sport do you do? In wheelchair rugby, he said. Oh, what's that all about then? Because I say I'm telling Alfalfa after they play rugby in a wheelchair. No, that's got to hurt. It's got to hurt. And he said, well, come down to the sprays. So
Talking to community work,
I
outreach.
I went down there and I thought, I don't know if I was, but I thought, hey, I'm pretty good at this. I have not dropped the ball, I've got a few goals. And then it came to pass that the Dragons were going to send up their own wheelchair for me. So being from just up the road in Riska, I thought, right, that's it, Dragons is the one for me. I've never looked back. I had a few bad times, no mental health, because of various different things, but it's always the fact that you can pick the phone up, talk to somebody. They won't judge. If you're being a dick, they'll tell you you're being a dick. Thankfully, that hasn't happened to me yet.
That's the next question I was going to ask. Kind of, what does it mean to you? And don't go into anything you don't want to go into, but just how important is having Dragons wheelchair rugby and being able to be part of something?
It's the difference between waking up in the morning and wanting to stay in bed because you think, they just can't be asked. And knowing that there's somebody out there that you can put a smile on their face. Not only put a smile on your own face, but doesn't it feel good to make other people feel good?
Yeah, definitely.
Listening to that, Carrie, I appreciate the pro program was massive. It's unbelievable. How does that feel, kind of listening that that's the motivation? Because that won't just be Steve, that'll be other people as well.
Oh, most definitely, you know, it's in all our provisions, our sporting memories, all our rugby provisions. This is so important to these people individually. You know, it means so much to them to be a part. Everyone is a part of the Dragons family. They feel they are a part of the family. They feel a part of the family, and that's why I do it, is for everyone. You know, it's for them being able to reach out, them to feel a part of something, smiles on faces. You want to make somebody's day better, even if it's giving it you okay or making a cup of tea, or it doesn't matter what it is. You know, it's that's why you
see
do it.
Smiles on faces. That was your smiling at your face then as well as you were talking about it, which is that's enough message in itself, isn't it? That's exactly what it's about. One of the main reasons for me kind of setting up Speakeasy and this is, you know, sport's my life. Everything about it, whether playing, I didn't play at any level, but community, volunteer, the local club, being part of something to me was the most important thing. And when I was at my lowest, I didn't feel part of anything. My football team I felt part of, and it's why I kind of now, like, I'd be buying loads of stuff off the club shop online, and we'd have new deliveries, and my wife would be like, "What have you bought now? I have a new club top or whatever." Rugs or whatever, jigsaw at the house, don't ask. But it turns out through therapy and talking it through, that was my comfort blanket.
Yeah.
To put that hoodie on feels part of something, and that's now why it's really important to me to get a jersey and get people to sign it, or to get a top and feel like I'm part of something. Was there at any of your, what were some of the most important things when maybe you're struggling or you have struggled, or what are some of the things that you always kind of go back to? It's not quite the Clubhouse question, slightly different.
Like, like feeling anxious by here. Because I don't feel anxious every day, but I could be here now and start feeling really like paranoid.
Okay.
I'm really anxious, and like people who know me would know because I look different.
Right.
I'd be like your face or expressions and where you act, and I can and if I was anxious, I would say something I should really say, and then you get yourself into it then, and that's what happens for me.
So does it feel like people can notice you change a little bit?
Yes, if they know me.
Yeah.
And is that important to you then, that those people, like, again, feels like you guys have got a really good relationship,
Me and Carmen get on really well. She's the right-hand woman.
But is it to you, Morgs? Is that really important to know
Yes.
that you've got someone you can trust?
It's like, not I know it's not like anyone's fault, but not everyone will listen to you.
Yeah, okay.
Is there a certain person who will take the time to listen and what you gotta say, and some people might not.
Absolutely. Is that similar for other people, or is there anything that jumps out?
So what you're saying, which football club was it?
Oh, it's tough.
It's tough. My therapist reckons it's the root of my Sheffield Wednesday.
Okay, well, can you imagine if you still follow them? If they one day just stopped becoming a club, just didn't exist, would that really affect you? Because you feel like your comfort blanket's gone. That's what I really worry about it's all the talk about regions.
Right, okay.
And you think of all the people we've mentioned, how they're affected by Dragons, how Dragons is a common denominator. It brings everyone together, all the work the team are doing, the community team are doing, and then one day, just for financial reasons or whatever it is, they can just say, oh no, that's gone. And I think as a player it can be quite hard with that as well, because we try and encourage ourselves to open up to our teammates, but the nature of rugby as a player is you're fully involved in the team, you try and open up, and we're all on 1 or 2 year contracts really. One day you decided for whatever reason you're not involved in the club anymore. It can be as short notice as a couple of months. So that's really hard, to try and invest in a club and expose yourself and be vulnerable to a club when it might not be there forever for you. And it's different if it's your home club, I think, because you're likely to maybe stay involved and you've always supported them, so it'll kind of always be there. But I think a lot of people who end up, they can be at a club for a long time and leave on bad terms for whatever reason. You can't help but feel quite bitter towards a club, and therefore your support network, it just feels like overnight it's been taken away. So I think that's why a lot of players you've got a culture in professional rugby of boys holding back from a team, and I think that could be why, to be honest.
Yeah, I hear you on all of that. That makes complete sense. And clearly, as you say, pretty new still to the setup, but you've clearly built this connection and relationship with the team, the venue, the squad, the region, because that's how you operate as well. That's a value for you.
Potentially, I'd be reluctant to open myself up, which I'm not saying I need to really. Yeah, I'm lucky in life. I've never really had any kind of struggles like that, but I can imagine a lot of other players might be like, they don't mind helping out other people, taking on their issues, or if another player spoke to them, it's great, but I feel like they might be reluctant to open up.
I hadn't really thought about it that way, just a little bit of reluctance to get too close.
In case it all goes away one day.
Yeah, that's tricky, isn't it? How about you guys? Is it simple as that?
Just touch on George's first point really about the region, and what doesn't help, if I'm honest, and it's personal as well as seeing it, is when it's played in the public eye as well. So people on TV are comfortable to say, just give it a region. So you walk through your front door and your mum and dad are there going, are you going to be all right? Because then it's the stress for your wife, boys' kids, boys' partners. Everyone reads the news, and it is difficult. So we're quite a holistic family, been through pro rugby, got released, so you understand what it is. But again, it's not nice then when there's people on TV, ex-players, coaches, media guys who can just throw it out there with no consequence to what happens in someone's house. And I'm probably speaking for a lot of players. It's pretty difficult to read. Yeah, but it's difficult for them then, their families, and they go home and living on that anxiety point can force people down a bad road. And then to touch on the investment side of it, and I think in general, you want to leave memories as clubs, and that's what we're trying to build here, so that players realise you don't leave on messy situations and doing things, and it's part of the job that is never nice, but the smoother you can make it.
Yeah.
Like I was exited well at the Ospreys. Scott Johnson, Sean Ollie were very good. He was clear, he was presented early, give me time to set up what was next. Not everyone gets that luxury.
Yeah.
The last thing that I promised I'll come to on that, the other thing you said before, because I pestered you enough for loads of these things, because I got a young lad, 5 years old now, is why he's 5 next week. Or Reginald. And he's kind of the why are you doing stuff? 20 years time, we're having a pint in the old pens, and if all him and his mates know is to ask questions, if they don't understand something in their head, it's cool to be curious. So I'm kind of using him. And you said, you kind of want to take that approach with, if it's a player or a member of coaching staff and they've got their little kids, they go, they looked after dad. Let's Which that when you said that really stuck with me.
Probably why I do boys' heads in with what's post, what's after rugby, because like their kids will remember elements of it, but they'll also remember the coach that looked after them and the coach that didn't. Because that's the one the player will talk about, and it's important you do what's right for them people and make sure that I was there, you'll sit in your hands for 5 years before you even think of it. And by the time you thought of it, it's too late. So they'll need someone to push that agenda, and if that's my place at the moment, that's my place.
Like a lot of our teams and things that we're doing, you try your best to make things like self-sustainable, because you want to, you care about these people so much. You won't want, if anything happens, you want to be able to, they still got this, you know, and that's really important. But like, you know, fingers crossed we're here, you know, and I believe we're going to stay, you know. So, but yeah, I think not just affecting rugby, but like, you know, everyone included in community and inclusion. Yes, you know, these, like I say, these are family, you know, without each other, won't they go, you know, they rely, some people rely on our sessions, they might only come once a week, but that's the focus on their whole week, you know, that's the impact on the rest of their week until the next session, you know, so it's crucial for us to be here, you know, and I keep going with that, you know.
You mentioned sporting memories before, and Parkinson's group in there,
amazing.
and it's some of the most important stuff that sport, this connection can.
So impactful.
Last question. I'll start with you, Di, because you've answered it before. One of the big things, and you kind of answered it in a way, but it'd be interesting just to get different perspectives. There's that safe place, wherever it is, whatever it looks and feels like, and that where you're not judged, or where you can be you, or whatever it means to you. And I first asked myself this question, and this might Old Pence or it's Hillsborough when I grew up there, and it's like-minded people. And I've probably asked this about 30 or 40 times now, and me and Di are the only ones who actually say a physical bricks and mortar place is their clubhouse. Because most people go, oh, it's a group of pals, it's this WhatsApp group.
Or they go their house.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Open water swimming. So I'm going to go with you first then.
Well,
How was your clubhouse?
I find myself, if people say, "Going to a party, Steve," yeah, I go to a party. But if I know I'm not going back to my own house, if I'm staying away, I do get very anxious. Because I've said it to a lot of people, my safe place is the house. Because I know what everything is. If I fall over, there's no one there to look at me and laugh at me.
Right.
Not that anybody would, but in your mind plays tricks, and you think, well, yeah, if I fall over, they'll laugh at me more, or they'll comment on my bald head or my big ears, or when I haven't got big ears. And
like-minded with bald heads, mind. We'll stick together.
And like someone said to me before, he said, "Do you think all the people walking down the street are interested in you? They've got far too many things going on in their own minds. They're not even looking at you."
Yeah.
And that stayed with me for, the last 40 years when that person said that. Because, and now I'll say to Morgan, we say something to her, I say, look, Morgan, they're thinking about shopping or what the bath, what is it going to be later? Then they know where to put you. And those that are, they've got nothing going on in their own lives.
Yeah. But if you were going to training and anything happened, you fell over.
Oh yeah.
It'd be like, I bet they'd be taking the piss straight away, would they? Because it's a safe place.
They would, mind you, whenever I fall over, the first thing I do is...
He's laughed off.
Like Papa Valley.
Because I think
How are you, Bob? What about you?
So,
What's your clubhouse?
Believe it or not, it's a home.
Okay.
Because with me, I'll talk to anyone. I like a drink. I like socialising. I like mingling. But I feel safer at home.
Do you?
But, see, I feel safer at home 'cause I feel like, you can relax. But the more I'm out, it gives me more confidence. You know, like now, I'm with you now. I'm loving it.
Yeah, great.
And I might say, I want to go home tonight. watch the soaps, be safe, nice cup of tea. But that's not life, you know, you gotta be out there.
Yeah.
And I mean, some people can't, but this gives me the confidence. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I always say, man, right, it's 4 o'clock now. Blanket over me, cup of tea, watching soaps, come out of work. And I feel like, oh, I got work. But no, I love it because it's giving me that confidence.
Exactly.
So you'd say the house is your clubhouse, but you also like coming out.
Two houses.
You got two, really.
I got a house I love to wine. And I got a house here where I love to be with.
Love it all.
That's going on a t-shirt, Mark.
So I've got 2 houses.
Love that.
Royalties.
It's quite similar. I think it's hard to look past natural home.
Yeah.
Great support network there, and I think it's quite nice to take yourself away from everything that might give you stress. So as soon as you walk through the front door, you know it's a nice place to be, and safe and comfortable place. So yeah, it's hard to look past just physical home.
Nice.
That house.
Definitely home.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. I don't know, there's something about it, I guess. And we talk about, you know, keeping things in and not talking. That's something I struggle with myself. We've been able to talk to people about my own problems. I'm really good at being the person that people want to talk to and give advice and things, but then me talking myself.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah, we can all identify with that.
Yeah. I got better, and I guess you said about trusting certain people. And I think, I feel like I've come through it now, and I've realised it's good to talk, you know. Yeah, home is where you can just, you know, like Morgan said, put the blanket on you and just chill out and reset with your family and just, you know, just be in your comfort zone in there, I suppose. Yeah.
Definitely.
Cool.
Brilliant. Dave?
It's Penarth Rugby Club, isn't it? Like, just obviously we went through trauma as a family when I was very young, and the clubhouse was sort of the thing that protected us. So we always go back, whether it's individually, whether you take a family down, whether it's training on a Monday night, Wednesday night. It's just a place where you just go, feel safe, you see old friends, give you a lot of stick because you don't win enough games, thinking you could go in and change the place. But it's very, you just like, I'm built to know it's there. So like, and we as a family know it's there. We probably don't go down as often as we would. We enjoy our Sunday lunches with 40 of us around the table and stuff in the house. But we usually start with the morning down the club with us, the boy playing. But it's a safe place. You can go down any time of the day, any day of the week, and you just know you walk in and smile.
One consistent thing between everyone is that everyone has smiled when talking about their places, which is, I don't think it's something we do enough, really thinking about or understand where someone else's is. So it's amazing. Just finally, thank you for your time. First and foremost, I've got stacks of other stuff I could ask, but I promise I won't.
Could stay for hours, couldn't we, Judd?
Yeah.
Nice cup of tea now.
You've got to get back to the soap.